Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. I am Jim Hacking, and I forgot to hit pushing me into the viewing room. Hope you all are doing well. This is episode number 288 of the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. Hope you all are doing well. Happy Tuesday to all of you. I'm here with my good friend Skyla. Skyla is watching the comments. She'll be posting the comments and giving the link for people that want to come in the waiting room. If you want to come on and ask me a question about your immigration case or about life in general, I'm happy to answer it. I hope all of you had a good Tuesday. We are celebrating a big asylum win. We were hired by a fellow who had filed for asylum many years ago. We worked with him to get his case stronger and better. Then we sued the asylum office, and we just got word late yesterday that his asylum case had been approved. So it really was a team effort because Pod B worked on the brief and making the case stronger. Christian, one of our attorneys up in DC, handled the interview from Pod D, and then Pod L was the one that actually sued to get him the immigration benefits. So all around, we're very happy that we were able to help this gentleman, and he will be able to apply for a green card 1 year from now. So the lawsuits do work, especially on an asylum case, because people have been waiting so long for a decision that USCIS doesn't usually fight back when we sue them on a lawsuit. So go ahead, everybody, and make sure to leave me a note in the comments. Let me know what's going on in your world, what your immigration question is. We shot some new videos yesterday. There's rumblings of a possible immigration bill coming out of this lame duck session, specifically for the Dreamers. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath, but that would certainly be great if we could. I'd love to see some comments from new folks. If you're a lurker, someone who doesn't usually say anything about being here, let us know who you are, where you're watching from. We'd be really happy to see that. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Let's say hi to Ed. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Okay, so I have a bit of a history with USCIS. If you bear with me, please. So I came to US 2014 as a J1 student. Finished my master's degree and then completed to the PhD here in Ohio. And then during that time, I applied for asylum in 2015. So by 2016, I got married to a U.S. citizen. She applied for me for the I-130. We couldn't apply for the green card because I had the 2 years home residency on my J1. So we had to apply for the
Waiver. For the waiver.
For the waiver. So the waiver category was exceptional hardship for the U.S. citizen. And we had to wait for 2 years for that to get approved. So it got approved in 2019. Now, during that time, now I-130 was approved after 6 months, and we were just waiting for the waiver. Waiver got approved in 2019, but unfortunately, by that time, my ex-wife now and I were separated, so we didn't proceed with the green card application. We just stopped there. And then we got divorced a year later. So by 2020, we got divorced. Now, at that year, same year, 2020, my asylum got approved.
So that sounds like a law school exam question.
Yeah. So the asylum got approved. I applied for a green card a year later, 2021, November 2021.
Yep.
And I got married to another U.S. citizen a few months back, but I didn't apply for anything through that marriage. I'm just waiting for my green card through asylum.
Sure.
Now, I got interviewed in last May 2022 for the green card. My lawyer was with me. My attorney was with me. The interview was pretty smooth, 30 minutes, nothing serious, just going through the application questions, yes, no, and then they said, well, everything is fine. As I mentioned, I live in Ohio, in Cleveland office. They sent everything is fine. This is the address you want your green card to be sent to. I said yes. This is your name. Yes, yes. Goodbye, goodbye. Now 3 months later, in August, I got a text from. I got a call actually. It said, "My name is blah blah blah. I'm a USCIS officer. I am coming to your work. We need to talk to you." So they came to my house actually, where my fiance at that time and now my wife used to live. They asked about me. They came to my work. There were two officers, one of them from ICE. They sat with me for an hour at my work. They asked me about everything. Well, luckily, my attorney was with me on the phone. So they asked me about everything, as I mentioned, the asylum case, the marriage case, everything, like my religious views. Do you go to the mosque? Do you go do this? Do you do that? Have you donated this? Why you're following this on Facebook? Why you're, doing that on whatever. So after an hour, I said, okay, so what's next? They said, well, we're good for now, but we'll let you know. And they left. So from August 2022 until today, there's nothing, no updates on my case. My lawyer sent them 2 letters just trying to see what's happening, what's going on. And, the answer is just security check. I checked with the senator office, with everything. Same response, just security check. So I am considering doing, like a lawsuit, but I don't know what's your input on that.
I think this case will be stuck until you file a lawsuit. What country are you from?
Iraq.
And when you had your asylum interview, did the topic of membership in any groups come up?
It was 2000. The interview took place 2018. I maybe not. I don't quietly actually remember, but I think I put no for that one in the application because I don't have any association with any any group. I mean, any political, any religious group. I just define myself as a practicing Muslim.
Sure.
So I don't have any. So yeah, that's
okay. So you mentioned that when these officers came, one of them was from ICE. Was one of them from the FBI?
No, both of them were from USCIS, and one of them actually is known to my lawyers. They recognize the person by the name, and they told me that person has no good reputation. It's always that person always assigned to find fraud, whatever, it's a fraud detection, whatever they call it, unit. So
did you get asylum from the immigration judge or from the asylum office?
I got it from the asylum office.
Mm-hmm. And you said that they were asking you about things on Facebook, and then you said doing that or whatever. What other sites besides Facebook did they ask you about?
Just the Facebook. They said you liked either two persons, two public figures you follow on Facebook, Muslims figures. Why, what's your opinion about, what's your intake about their opinion about Islam and stuff like that. And, why are following them, what do you think of them, stuff like that. So these kind of the two major things actually stuck to them. They kept asking about it,
Have you or your lawyer received any kind of notices from Google or Facebook that the FBI subpoenaed records on you?
No, I talked to my lawyer recently, and he suggested that I should request a FOIA thing just to see what is happening. And we did that I don't know, few weeks back, and we haven't heard anything. It's just everything is still pending. So yeah, it's kind of we're stuck at this situation.
Any chance that ex-wife said bad things about you to immigration?
I don't believe so. We haven't spoke, it didn't end smoothly. We had to go through the court, and she had to pay me some marital support. Actually, they asked about that. They said, have you received any marital support because of the divorce? And I said yes, because I was a graduate student at that time, and because of her income was higher than me, so the court decided that she has to pay for me for a few months.
What what field of study is your PhD in?
Biomedical science. So I work in a company where we do a lot of preclinical studies and kind of, look into new potential drugs, and we assess their safety before they go to the market.
Did you formally withdraw the green card application, or did it just die on the vine, or what happened to that?
We did not submit it at all.
It was never submitted.
It
Okay.
was never submitted. We just got the I-130 submitted, and we were waiting for the waiver. The waiver came at that, by the time the waiver was available,
Mhm.
the marriage was not, in a good
Viable.
place. So my lawyer said, there's no point. We're going to submit that. It's not going to work out. And so we just didn't do anything about it.
So your lawyer said, I know this guy or this lady that came, one of the two people, and they're sort of no good and they cause a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, I think your case is going to be stuck until you sue them.
Okay, when do you think the right time?
Oh, well, it's been 13 months. I think you're fine because you could wait another year or you could do it now. It's not the result is going to be the same. I believe that if you sue them, they're going to call you in for one more interview.
Okay.
and then they'll issue a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I'm not surprised if they're gonna, come again and interview me, but based on what I told you, what do you think they're? I know, like they want to sleep on it, and they feel there's something, based on suspicion. Also I read about the CRARR, whatever, CRRAP. Do you think I'm kind of like?
So Ed, I don't know, I became Muslim 25 years ago. So most of my clients are from the Middle East, from Muslim countries. I've been dealing with CARP, dealing with these kinds of things where they sort of think they smell something, they think they know something, but they don't have jack shit. This is the kind of case that they're going to sit on because of CARP, because you're Muslim, because you're from Iraq. Yeah, I think this is, I think it's an approvable case, but they're just sitting on it to wait to see what you do.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's kind of was my train of thoughts. I just wanted to share that with you and see your opinion. If you really highly recommend suing them rather than just waiting and see, because I don't want them, we don't want to pressure them, and they may say like, okay, well, we're just going to reject it because you're pushing.
They don't do that. They don't get mad when you sue them. If you want to talk to me on offline about this too, there's probably a couple other questions I'd want to ask you, but not necessarily on camera. So
sure.
If you think about it, if you want to get started, just email the office and say, hey, I was Ed. I was the first caller on Tuesday, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Bye.
You got it. All right. Well, we started with a bang. That was Ed, our first case of the day. Let's say hi to Jalaya. Hi, Jalaya.
Hello. It's pronounced Jalea.
Oh, sorry, Jalea. How you
It's
doing?
okay. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
So I filed an I-130 case for my husband. He's living in Haiti. And as of July 12th, I think, of this year, our case became documentarily qualified through the NBC.
Mm-hmm.
But the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince is just not processing visas at the moment, I guess because of the civil unrest and everything that's going on there.
Right.
And at first, it seemed they had put out a notification that they would start processing applications or for visas again in January, but now it just says to be determined. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering if there's anything we could do to move our case forward.
I don't think so. I think you're just waiting. The only thing you could do is try to get another embassy to take his case. Is there some other country that he could get to if you could get that embassy to take it?
I guess Dominican Republic.
That's probably one they're not going to do. You could try it. You could try and ask them. I'm thinking someplace maybe in South America or someplace else in Central America, Okay. I think the one that would specifically not let you do it is Dominican Republic, just because they're so close.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That's pretty much all I needed to know.
All right. Good luck, Jalea. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's say hi to Shan. Hi, Shan.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You lose a lot of weight. You look very good.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
So, Jim, I got my green card last month through VAWA.
Okay.
And I got my green card, and I didn't go to the first place. I didn't go to my country, which is South America, Guyana. Actually, I'm going there next month. So I went to Canada, and upon going to Canada, when I go to Canada, they asked me, "What are you coming here for?" I said, "I'm visiting a friend. How long? 2 days." I was like, "Okay." They let me in Canada. Upon coming back, I clear TSA. I go to the custom officer. It was the morning time. He said, "Good morning." She said, "Put your four right finger on the scanner, and then your thumb, your four left finger, and your thumb." He was like, "How long did you stay in Canada? What was your purpose in Canada?" I said, "Visiting a friend." He said, "How long did you stay?" I said, 2 weeks. He said, "Are you traveling with any money exceeding 10,000?" I said, "No." My friend also was traveling with me. Asked my friend the same question. Give my friend back his passport and everything, green card, and he said, "Come with me. I have to take you to immigration." So he take me in a room, and then they give them my passport and green card, and they call me, and like they started questioning me. The lady started questioning me and asked me that how did you come to America? Did you come with a visa, right? I was like, yeah, B1, B2, and I was like, she was like, how did you obtain your green card? I was like, I was married and I was abused, and I was like, for wow. She was like, oh yes, that usually people have 2 year green card, but you have a 10 year. I was like, yeah, because I fall under the Special Immigrant Act. And she looked at the computer and she was like, oh yes, that yes, you did fall under the Special Immigrant Act. That's what you have a 10 year. She was like, why I didn't have the time to ask her why she asked me those questions, and
Mhm.
she gave me back my green card and passport, and she said, go ahead, but I'm going to my country, so like I'm a little bit scared if when I come back to JFK if they're gonna like ask me anything, or do you think my green card was fairly new? That's why.
I think they're just assholes. The people you ran into are assholes. I don't think you need to worry about it.
Okay, because I had a case a little case with a criminal court, and it was dismissed with dismissed as with ACD, and that's why they were pulling me over to ask me about the case, but it was dismissed. I had the dismissal letter, but they didn't ask me anything about that case.
What was it?
It was a misdemeanor. I got into actually a fight with a family, and my cousin, and I slapped him, and he just take me to the court, and the case go on for 6 months, and the judge and the DA and the judge dismissed the case automatically.
I think you're fine.
Okay, so I'm good to go to my country. I'm not gonna have any problem coming back.
I can't guarantee it, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound to me like something bad's going to happen. I think you just ran into a crabby person on a crabby day.
Okay, no problems, and thank you very much.
Bye, Shannon. See ya.
Thank you.
All right, let's say hi to Pat.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. So we did receive a letter today for me and my wife to check for that lawsuit. So I'm wondering what federal court the document is gonna go to, because the link she sent, it was showing like a Van Ness Heights, Minnesota corporate office or something like that. So I don't know if it's gonna go there or it's gonna go to the federal court in Minneapolis.
You should ask the team where they're planning on filing it, and then if you want to email me, just tell them that you just ask them to add me to the email. We shouldn't talk about your case on camera.
Okay.
Now that you're a client.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
So
just
I have
email them your question, and if you want to include me, you can. But
Okay.
they know what they're doing. Just whatever they tell you to do that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, see ya.
Um,
All right. Let's say hi to Jacob. Hi, Jacob.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a question. People who become citizens, do they have to update their address with the USCIS?
No.
Only green card holders, right?
Yep.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Now, if you're a U.S. citizen and you're applying for an I-130 for a family member, then you would want to update your address. But other than that, no.
Oh, I see. And if a green card holder is a student and for example, if I was a green card holder, I'm a student, I live in New York and I want to go study in Michigan, do I also have to update my address? Or
Yeah.
and if I'm still dependent on my family, do I have to update my address? Because I'm just going there to study. I'm not going there to work or live.
I don't understand that question.
Okay, so like my address is I live with my family
In New York.
in New York, and I want to go live in campus in a school in Michigan for a university,
And you have a green card.
and I have a green card.
Yeah. So what you're saying is your official address is going to stay the same.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's okay either way.
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, Jacob. See ya. All right. All right. How's everybody doing? Everybody watching? Everybody, let me know where you're watching from. Cindy B's in Jamaica. I wish I was in Jamaica. That ain't bad. Go ahead, everybody. Let me know how things are going. Let me know what's going on with your situation. Let me know where you're watching from. Happy to see everybody. Marlon's here, of course. Judith is in Miami. Skyla's here with me. Let's go ahead and say hi to Kay. Hi, Kay. You're on mute. Kay's out of here. All right, let's say hi to Muhammad. Hi, Muhammad.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
So I have a quick question, Jim. I'm currently in Egypt. I have a green card, 10 years green card, and I applied for my N400 when August 12th, and I went away for a vacation. I'm going back by the end of January. I'm coming back in end of January, and I'm going away just for 2 months. So I applied for my N400 like 4 months ago, August 12th exactly.
Let's back up.
Sure.
So when did you get your green card?
I got it in October 31st, 2019.
And was it based on marriage?
Yes.
Okay. And in the last, so since you got, what's the start date on your green card?
October 31st, 2019.
And okay, so you applied like right when you first were eligible, right?
Yeah, after the 90 days, like around the 90 days before the 3 years anniversary.
Okay. And so since 2019, how much time have you spent in the United States?
Most of the time in the United States, me and my wife and my son, we live most of the time in the United States. I only had 3 trips outside. Each trip no more than 45 days.
Okay. And when was the last trip to Egypt before the one you're on right now?
Before this trip, was in December last year, and I came back like in January, somewhere in January, mid-January.
Okay. And so what's the question for me?
I just landed here, so I was concerned that I get my interview while I'm away. So I was just wanted to take your opinion about my office, like how fast they going, and in case if I get my interview, can I go back and do my interview?
Yeah. What field office is it?
It's Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Oh yeah. So they're going to be slow. I mean, when did you filed like what, in August?
August 12th, exactly, when they received my application, and I didn't do any fingerprint. They waived it.
When are you coming back to the United States?
End of January. It's going to be like 6 months from where I filed.
I think you're fine. I don't think they'll schedule you for an interview before then. Do you have a lawyer?
I do, and he's receiving my mail and stuff,
You're fine.
So
Yeah.
and my phone is working. In case of something happened, they will call me. But just in case if I get it, can I go back and just attend my interview?
Mm-hmm.
And should I bring my wife and my son with me, the whole family with me? Or
If you're applying, I don't care about your son, but if you're applying on the 3-year rule, your spouse should show up with you.
Okay, all right. Even when we have a son together and everything, I still have to bring her with me, right?
If, as I said on yesterday's show, if you show up on a 3-year without your spouse, it's just going to cause all kinds of trouble.
Okay. Last question, Jim, please. I was adjusted. My green card was adjusted by the judge. I was in removal procedure, and I got my 10-year green card right away. Is this slows things down in citizenship?
Yep. Yeah, it'll probably be a year or so before you get your interview.
Okay. All right. Is there anything I should concern about it when I go to my interview? Or?
No,
Okay.
as long as you, I mean, you're gonna have your lawyer there with you, I hope, and as long as you know all the facts of your case, you'll be fine.
Yep, I do. All right.
Where are you? Where are you in Egypt? Are you in Cairo?
I know I'm in Alexandria right now.
Oh, I love Alexandria. We had a great time there. We went to that library in Alexandria, which is so amazing.
Yeah, it's like it's right on. It's under the ground. You know, like 7 floors under the ground, and then you see the top right in the beach,
Yeah.
right?
And we went to this seafood place that was so freaking good. My kids ate so much seafood. I've never seen it in my whole life. They've never eaten like that before. They loved it.
Yeah, they famous with seafood because it's a shore town. You know.
Yeah.
They like
All right,
fish.
well, have a good trip, Mohammed.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, Jim. Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, let's say hi to Evelyn. Hi, Evelyn.
Hi, sorry, I was in mute.
How you doing?
Good. Well, not that good.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be calling you, Jim. All right. Well, what's wrong?
Okay, I applied in April 2020 for a EB2. I have a master's degree, and I currently study my PhD. And they asked me this year for a RFE document. And I sent them, and I just received in November 10th the denied. So they say like it's not they say they're
So you
it's
applied,
not.
you applied for a national interest waiver.
Yeah, I applied for the green card process.
But you applied. You didn't go through PERM. You applied on the national. You filed an I-140 saying that the work you were doing was in the national interest. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so,
Yeah.
why do you think that not making you go through PERM is in the national interest of the United States?
I think is missing documents to show up to them. They say she has not offered sufficient information and evidence to demonstrate the prospective impact for the United States. Yeah, in other parts. Mm-hmm.
Well, so what do you do? What's your line of work?
I am a software developer. In this moment, I am a software developer for a credit union bank.
Okay, and what country are you from?
I'm from Colombia.
And so did you file this with a lawyer or on your own?
I fill out this with a lawyer, but she haven't told me anything about this. And honestly, I think like for the documentation I'm seeing from the letters, I feel it's like a little leak.
A little what?
Leak. Like I feel like it needs more information.
Okay, so let me talk to you about what usually happens. So for most people to get an employment-based green card, most people, 90%, 92% of the people have to have an employer sponsor them. That's the normal thing that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are certain people who are doing work that is in the national interests of the United States to let them get a green card faster, to not make them go through the employer. Because, the law is set up to protect American workers. So most people have to have an employer who posts the job and then can prove that there aren't any Americans who can do the job. So if you had come to see me and said, Jim, I want to file an EB2 national interest waiver green card, I probably would have said no, because you're a software developer. It's not like you're working on COVID. It's not like you're working on the nuclear program or something of national importance. Software developer is the exact kind of job that somebody should get an employer for and should go through PERM. So I think your lawyer should have told you no, especially if you said you don't have your PhD yet.
No, I'm studying in this.
Yeah, so
in this
it's
moment.
way too early. This case was never going to be approved.
Mm.
And it sounds like they didn't do a great job, but it also was never going to be approved. Everyone's jumping on the national interest waiver bandwagon, thinking that that's some magic way to get an employment-based green card. This case was not going to be approved.
Okay, so there is nothing to do. So I have another question. So after I finish my PhD, can I apply for it, or is not?
but I'll ask you again. Why do you think that your case is different than all the rest of the people? That's the question.
Well, I start this process because the lawyer and somebody suggests me the lawyer, and she, sell the service.
I think maybe the lawyer took advantage of you. Maybe the lawyer wanted to make money to have you file this, but I would have turned this case down. And I'm not saying that they did anything wrong. I'm not saying that I didn't, and I'm not saying that this case couldn't have been approved, but at the most, it was a 5% chance. So I would have told you that up front so that you could make a good decision. Do I want to spend the money on trying this? I just don't think, I think if I were you, what I would be focusing on, so you're still on your F1, right?
Yeah,
So you can get OPT for 3 years, right? So when you're done with your PhD, or have you already used your OPT?
I already used my OPT. Now I'm in CPT for my PhD.
Yeah, so that's tough. So you need to start finding an employer to sponsor you for an H-1B is what I think you need to do for this lottery that's coming up in March. And then if you get an H-1B, then have them apply for a green card for you, or just try to find an employer to sponsor you for a green card now.
Okay, so there is not any inconvenience if my company applies for the green card for me in the future because I apply for this?
No, it won't hurt you. No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, practically you answered my question, James. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Evelyn. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, bye. All right. Let's see if Noella's here. Noella, are you with us?
Hi, yes, I am. How are you?
Oh, boy, you have a nice voice. It sounds like you have a radio voice. What can I help you with?
Oh, thank you. So I had a question. I will be filing for my spouse next year with the I-130. And so my question is related to affidavit of support. So I do have a family member who requested if I could be additional affidavit of support to her mother that is currently in the NVC stage right now. She just needs an additional affidavit of support to go for her interview. So my question was, can I use my 2001, obviously right now I have the 2021 tax return to provide that as affidavit of support and still provide an affidavit of support for my spouse next year, which I believe I will be using the 2022 tax return. What is your advice on that?
So first of all, you're going to need 3 years of tax returns. Okay. And the major question is, let's assume that instead of this friend's relative person, that was your spouse's child. So in other words, that there's two people that you're sponsoring on one application. The fact that there's two applications doesn't really matter. The question is whether you've made enough money in each of the last 3 years to qualify to sponsor your spouse and his child, or your spouse and this other person. Okay. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So that means
if you made $100,000 last year, you can do both, no problem. If you made $30,000 or $32,000 each of the last 3 years, that gets a little closer. And then I would say,
so I made, just ballpark, I would say first year in the 50s, second year in the 60s, the last one in the 70s.
So then the last question we have to ask ourselves is, should Noella sponsor somebody else? Well, yeah, two people, but anyone other than your spouse. Like people will ask me, Jim, will you talk to my dad about being a co-sponsor? And I would say, Noella, you don't want me to talk to your dad about being a co-sponsor, because I would tell him not to do it. Right. So I don't know why you would, other than to be an extremely nice and generous person. You are taking on a liability by signing that affidavit of support. And obviously for your husband, you want to do it because you want to be together. But for some friend's relative, you don't know their health condition. You don't know what's going to happen to them in the future. You could get into a little bit of financial trouble with it. And you have the extra thing of, this also is going to make my spouse case a little bit more complicated. So I think you have an out. I think you could say, I talked to a lawyer. He said it's not a good idea generally, but he sure as heck said it wasn't a good idea for me, given the fact that I'm about to go through this process with my spouse.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. And so one more thing, sorry, just to get a clarification, even this is a trusted person that I have dearly. So I guess the conclusion is do not put myself in a situation that might be a bit difficult for me in the future coming concerning my spouse.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Jim would probably do it because I care about people and I'm nice and generally, but that's me being nice. Me with my lawyer hat on, you know, just from a legal standpoint, it's not a good idea.
Okay.
But if you want to do it, it'll probably be okay, right? And you're off the hook. I don't know. Is this a young person or an old person?
So it's an older person.
So you're off the hook once they get their citizenship. So then you have to ask yourself, are they going to get their citizenship in 5 years, or are they just going to stay as a green card holder forever? Are they going to work? If they work for 11 years, then you're off the hook that way too. So those are the kinds of things I'd be thinking about. I'd probably be more willing to do it for a 20-year-old than I would a 70-year-old, because the 70-year-old is more likely to end up in the nursing home and get Medicaid, and then the government comes a knocking. Now, that being said, in my whole life as an immigration lawyer, I've never read a case or read a news story of somebody saying, "Hey, it's time for you to pay for that person you sponsored." I've never actually heard of it. I'm sure that it happens. No one's ever told me about it.
Oh, okay, got it.
So that's my best stuff, Noella. On am I saying your name right?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's my best stuff on whether or not you should do the affidavit of support.
Okay, thank you. All right, have a
What are
good
you
one.
gonna do? Do you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna think.
I do want to do it. I mean, obviously, I expect my gross income to increase in the future, and I don't expect to be in the financial. I don't expect to be in a financial situation. So I think I do want to do it. I just was hoping, like, I was just wanting to know if I can do it, and if,
you can. Yeah, you make plenty.
yeah, and if me filing for my spouse, it wouldn't implicate that. Like, it wouldn't implicate the process.
I think it could slow it down a little bit, because now they have to look at something else. They have to go find some other file. They have to find the other time you sponsored someone.
Okay, got it.
All right. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Bye. All right. Let's say hi to Phil. What's up, Phil?
Hi, James. Thank you so much for having me. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah. So, James, I have a quick question. Regarding my green card, I went for the 10 years interview with my spouse, and they asked for additional documents. And I sent it almost like a month and a couple of weeks now, but I haven't heard from them. And I was told it's going to take 60 days for them to get back to me. But my problem is I have an emergency that I need to travel back home. Can I still go?
Well, do you have the 10-year, do you have the extension letter?
Yes, I have the extension letter, but the extension will expire on somewhere October next year.
The extension letter expires October next year?
Yes.
So you're still so just to be clear, you have a valid passport, your old green card, and the extension letter, and the extension letter is good until October of 2023.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking maybe if I leave the country, it's gonna be like I've abandoned my case.
Nope, not like that's the purpose of the letter.
Okay.
How long are you gonna be gone?
Oh, just for a month.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm fine. Okay. And my quick second question is going to be the extension letter. You know, you wouldn't know the exact date that is going to expire. Do they have an app or something that you can check? Because this one I have to, they gave me, I think 18 months for the first time.
18 months?
Come again?
They gave you 18 months, and then what did they give you?
And they gave me another one of, so once my green card expired, they gave me the issue. I'm trying to check here. So I have 2 extensions now. The other one expired and they issue another one, I think. Yeah, 18 months and I think 24 months. Yep.
And you have the actual physical letter, right?
Yes, I do.
So I would bring both of them if you have them both. Bring them both with you. Bring the passport, bring your green card, and you should be just fine.
Okay. Yeah. But Tim, what if the officer, let's say, in other words, deny my case whilst I'm outside?
They're not going to do that.
Okay, because I sent in a bunch of documents. I mean,
that's what I wanted to ask you. So you show up at your interview, and then they asked you for what? More marital evidence? Like they felt you didn't give them enough?
Yes.
That's not good. Why did that happen? That should never happen.
No, they said they didn't tell me I didn't give them enough. They just told me I should have bring it with me at the interview, but I didn't send anything because I thought maybe I sent it already, so they didn't need any extra one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What field office?
In Seattle.
What country are you from?
From Ghana.
And what was your immigration status when you first married your spouse?
So I came here on a B1, B2 visa.
And then did you overstay or did you get married while you were on your first 6 months?
On my first 6 months, I went back home and I returned back again. And the second one, I got married.
I think you should be fine. Just try to not be going too long.
Okay, Jim.
All right. Bye, Phil.
Thank you so much. God bless. All right.
Bye, buddy. Yep. Let's say hi to Mike. Mike, are you with us?
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Great. How you doing?
Very well. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to speak to you. Actually, I'm calling from the UK, from London.
Okay.
I've got two parallel interests, and I thought maybe you might be able to advise us here.
Okay.
I'm interested in furthering my studies in the US by doing a postgraduate program. And while I've been contemplating on that, my son is interested in joining the US Navy. So both interests are running parallel. I know that's my son might be separate in terms of what he's trying to do, but he's only 18, but he's looking to join the US Navy. But I thought it just coincides whereby if I do my studies there, at least I'm there with him, at least, while I'm over there. So it's two passions running at the same time, to the long story short. So my question to you is the F1 the actual fastest visa to be there and study and carry on from there?
When was the last time you were in school?
A long time ago. I'm in my 50s now, but at the same time, it's a postgraduate program I'm trying to do.
So I think that's going to make it hard to get an F1 approved. Not to say you shouldn't do it, but I mean, so do you have a school in mind?
Yeah, well, yes, I'm actually preparing for a postgraduate program at Stanford or MIT.
Oh.
It was recommended by one of the professors because I do a lot of conversations and dealings with a lot of tech companies and business people in the US quite a lot. And then the professor said, look, I think you might need this. I've worked in investment banking before in London. And so I had a break in my career because of my son had autism.
Yeah.
So the autism had a stall on my career, but my son is US born. He was born in Florida. But even with the autism, he's matured to some extent where he's just finished Army Cadet in the UK in London. And he said, look, Dad, I'd like to continue this maybe by joining the US Navy. And I've actually spoken to the US Navy bases as well. They said, look, from what they can see, they're happy to bring him over for him to come and join them.
So the son is a US citizen, is that what you're saying?
Yes, by birth, yes.
So the only person that needs a visa is you, not him.
Yes, just me, yeah. But I'm just concerned because we've been his quote unquote carer. We're looking after him here. Just keep an eye to make sure, But I'm just thinking while I'm there, at least I'm having to provide that sort of, look over his, to make sure everything's okay while there's a parental support while I'm studying.
You mean by the fact of being in the same country, or that he'd actually live with you while he's in the Navy?
But in the same country, because he obviously in the US Navy, he will be on a different base anyway.
Right.
I think California or Florida. So as long as I'm on the same soil with him, I'm quite happy with that.
Well, I mean, here's what I would say. The fact that you're 50 is going to cut against you. The fact that you want to start up your studies again at the same time your son wants to come to the United States is gonna cut against you.
Okay.
The fact that he's going to turn 21 in 3 years and can sponsor you for a green card is also going to make them give you the F1 less likely, right?
Okay.
All those things. That being said, if you're talking about Stanford or MIT admitting you for, is this a PhD or a master's or what?
It's a master's for people who have corporate experience before.
Yeah, so that might be the one saving grace. If you can get Stanford or MIT to issue you a I-20 for this program, I think that's going to boost your chances of the embassy in London giving you an F1.
Okay. Okay. And you said that's from what your previous videos you did say that is the fastest way is to actually be a student first and then adjust the status, because once I get there, all my contacts, you name it, from Silicon Valley all the way down to New York, I do have a lot of regular contacts with quite a lot of them there. So they've always said, Michael, whenever you come over, let us know. So I'm just thinking.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm thinking of adjustment of status after the course if I want to stay on and deploy the program degree I've done within those corporate entities.
Oh, wouldn't it be easier to have your son do it when he turns 21?
Yes, he can do. Obviously, he's a citizen anyway. But again, I don't want to I want to make sure I pursue things on my own terms, as opposed to just like saying, "Hey." So
that's all well and good, but wait till you see how long and convoluted getting an employment-based green card is. I mean, it's just so much easier through your son.
Yeah, but he's got autism. That's the thing. So again, I have to break it down to him. Well, maybe I'll have to see you for that to break things.
Yeah, but for citizenship, he just has to sign a form and understand that he's sponsoring you for citizenship. If he understands that, then you're good to go.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Does your practice provide the visa, the legal advice services for like the F1s and everything?
Nope, you don't need us. No, okay. for two reasons that we don't. One is a lot of F1 visas get refused, and then people get mad at us, and I don't like it when people are mad at me. In other words, I can't really control the outcome, and I don't like that.
Right.
Okay. The other one is that there's no real need for us. You just need, if the whole shooting match. I mean, the big issue is, will the school issue you an I-20 for this program? That's big issue number one. Then number two is, does the embassy believe you're going to come back?
Right. Okay.
So, you might not want to necessarily raise the issue of your son wanting to come join the Navy, because that sounds like everybody's moving to America, right? Like, that's the shit they don't like.
Right. So the suspicion will be there straight away. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, thank you so much, Jim. You've been a wonderful resource. You've been, in fact, your knowledge and your expertise. In fact, the video itself, I refer them to people and myself all the time. So it's a very, very good resource. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Bye, buddy. All right. Let's say hi to Hamza. Hi, Hamza.
Hi, Jim.
What's up?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Sure.
I have questions. Married to a U.S. citizen back in 2016. We applied for CR1 visa in 2017, and everything was good. And they answered us after 6-7 months, approved, and asking us to do the second step. I think the NVC thing. And my wife, she don't work. And she used the government help, so she can't sponsor me.
Yep.
And now we are stuck like this, and she have a record in her like she can't get a job with that.
What kind of record does she have?
She was driving drunk, and she hit a police cop vehicle. Yeah. So
okay. So she needs to find a co-sponsor.
Exactly. We're looking for a co-sponsor for years now. From 2017.
Let me put it to you simply. If you don't get a co-sponsor, you're not coming.
Yeah. So my question is, do I have a chance at getting a B1 visa?
No.
No.
What country are you from?
Algeria, North Africa.
So yeah, sure. So the problem is, they don't usually give visit visas to people who applied for a green card, right? So when you apply for a green card, you say, "Hey, I want to live in the United States for the rest of my life." Yeah. When you're applying for a visit visa, you're saying, "I promise I'm just coming to America for a little bit, and then I'm going to go back to Algeria." Okay. So those are inconsistent. Okay, and it's almost like once somebody files that I-130 petition for you, it's like somebody rang a bell and you can't unring that bell. You can't take it back. So you've
Okay.
already what's called demonstrated immigrant intent. You've already shown that you want to live in the United States. And once you show that, they don't give you visit visas. You can try, but it's a waste of time and money.
Okay. Okay. One small question. Sorry, Jim.
You're fine. Take your time.
My final like try. I was willing to cross the border, the U.S.
Don't do
Mexican
that.
border.
What, that's just going to cause you more problem. That's just going to cause you more problems. You're still going to need a co-sponsor. Don't do that.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, I got you. Okay. Thank you so much, Jim.
Bye, Hamza. See you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, crossing the border never solves anybody's problems. Don't if you got a case, that's just going to create another problem for Hamza. That doesn't solve his problem. That just makes him go from having one problem to two problems. All right, looks like Elvis is in the building. Let's say hello to Elvis. Hi, Elvis. Elvis, can you hear me? Let's say hi to Naina.
Hey, hi Jim, how are you?
Great, how you doing?
I'm doing good as well. Thanks for asking. So, the thing is, like right now, I'm working on my STEM OPT. My F1 visa is expired, and I'm planning to. I've actually booked a visa renewal appointment in India, which is my home country. It's an interview waiver appointment. It's like a Dropbox appointment. How risky do you think it is to renew your F1 visa like this?
Why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? Because I would like to go back to my country and visit my parents.
Sure, I understand that. But what are you going to do if let's say there's a 5% chance of something going wrong with your Dropbox interview and they don't give you a visa and they don't let you come back for 7 months? What will that do to your career?
It would set my career back, yeah.
So, if you follow my show or if you came to my office, you would hear from Indian nationals stuck in India after being told they had an interview appointment or a Dropbox appointment. They don't get their visa, and then they say, "Hey Jim, can you sue for us? Can you sue for us? Because I'm stuck here and I can't come back." And they're really screwed. I don't want that to happen to you. I'm not saying for sure that it'll happen. I'm just saying if there's a 5% chance of it happening, but it has severe consequences, then you have to ask yourself, do I really want to take the risk?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But I know it's easy for me to see because I live 7 minutes from my mother. So what the heck? Right.
Yeah. Cool.
How far in your OPT are you?
My STEM OPT ends on in the year 2024.
And so you just sort of started your STEM OPT.
Yeah.
And would your employer let you work remotely if you get stuck?
Not permanently, no. Like I can work remotely for 10 days, 10 business days.
That's it?
Yeah.
So what if it's 6 months?
I don't think they will be okay with that.
Yeah. And plus we'd have to see what would that do to your OPT itself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it, but that's just me.
Okay, cool. I'll think about it. Thanks for your advice.
You got it. Bye, Naina.
Bye.
All right, looks like Elvis tried to come back. Elvis, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
I hear you, Elvis. What's up?
Cool, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this platform. And please, I have an interview for an F1 visa on Thursday. So I would want you to enlighten me, advise me on what to do.
Okay, so what country?
United States of America.
No, I know that. What country are you in?
I'm in Ghana, please.
Ghana. Okay. And how old are you?
I am 30 years.
And when was the last time you were in school?
I graduated in 2018 with business administration.
Okay. And
2018.
what have you been doing since 2018?
After 2018, I've been working with my uncle.
In
I've been
what
working
kind
with my
of
uncle.
what kind of a job?
My uncle, he's in small scale mining and construction. I used to work with him at the small scale mining site, but right now I'm supervising his projects for him at the construction sites.
Okay. And what school do you want to go to?
University of Maine. University of Maine. Masters.
University of Maine?
Yes, please.
And what do you want to study?
Entrepreneurship.
And you want to get a master's degree or what?
I want to, I want to start off with entrepreneurship, something I want to do, and come back and set up my own business. And I don't think, when I did the business administration, I did management option. So I want to have a fresh start, have a 4-year degree again with entrepreneurship. I want
Gotcha.
to align myself fully with entrepreneurship so that it can help me in so many ways.
Have you ever been married before?
I'm married now, but we only did the traditional marriage.
Okay. And is your spouse going to go with you or no?
No, please. She's not gonna go with me. She's a nurse here in Ghana, so she's not going with me.
Okay. Well, I think the whole question of whether or not they should give you an F1 is whether or not they think you're really going to school, and do they think that you're going to come back to Ghana when your studies are over. So anything you can do to convince them that you plan to go back home at the end of your studies is good.
Okay.
So that's the important thing. So they're probably going to ask you the questions I just asked you, and then it's all about whether or not you can convince them that you'll come back to Ghana when you're done.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Elvis.
Thank you for
See you,
your
buddy.
time. Bye.
You
Bye,
got
boss.
it. All right. Let's see if Zainab's here. Zainab, are you here?
Yes, hi Jim, how are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I am good and well. So I'm in the process of filing with my husband who will be sponsoring me, but it turns out he doesn't meet the requirements, the income requirements, so we would be needing a co-sponsor.
Uh-huh.
We have a couple of friends who are willing to help, but one of them is on a conditional green card, so wondering if she would be able to stand in because of the conditional green card status. And then another one, she tried to put in a filing for her citizenship last year, but she was denied. So if she was either of them to stand in for us as a joint sponsor, is that going to affect their case in any way?
Well, I can't give advice to them. And the reason I can't give advice to them is because if you're asking me to give advice to them, it would be don't sign as a co-sponsor.
Okay.
Now, if the question is, can the conditional resident be a co-sponsor? I believe the answer to that question is yes. My understanding is that a conditional resident can do everything that an unconditional resident can do. So I think they can be the co-sponsor.
So
the person who got their citizenship, do you know why they got their citizenship denied?
Yes, I do. So it turns out they were trying to question her husband not staying with her, but he's in the army, so he's been moving around a lot.
They were being jerks, and they treated that 3-year living together really tightly, and they said you don't really live together because your spouse is in the military, so you got to wait 5 years.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not bad. I mean, that's not going to blow back on you. Like if she got denied for being a felon, that would be different. So I think either one of them could do it for you.
Okay. And I had another question. So there was also a friend who's also petitioning for his spouse who's abroad right now. And he was also willing to stand in as a joint sponsor for us. But like I said, I don't want any case where either of us gets into any kind of complication because of it.
Well, he's okay. If he's rich enough, that part's fine. But again, I wouldn't tell him to do it.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right, Zainab, have a good day.
You too.
All right, everyone. That'll do it for today's show. We'll be back for our next episode on... Oh, I left my cheese wrapper over there. Ha ha ha. Next show, 4 o'clock, Thursday, Central Time. We'll be back. We'll be off tomorrow, and we'll be back tomorrow and Friday at 4. That'll be episode number 289, I believe. And if you want to get on our text list, just text the word show to 314-470-3300, and you'll be on our list. That's episode 289. 289. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Skyla, for watching over things. And if you guys have a minute and want to leave us a review, please go to reviewhackinglaw.com. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.